Hello and welcome back together to the weekend update. Not the weekend update this time because I'm 2 days late. Sorry for that. I'm sick. My voice ain't the best. And yeah, on Sunday I had no voice, so recording wasn't possible. So now you get it a little bit later, the information. But better 2 days later than never. Yeah, I will cover with you, like always, the S&P 500, US oil, gold, and Bitcoin on the weekly, daily, and 4-hour time frame, so that you know what to do the days and weeks ahead. Let's start like usually with the weekly time frame and the S&P 500 index. Yeah, on the weekly you can see we're making higher highs and higher lows, so an intake uptrend on the weekly. We have a MACD divergence to price that is normally a bearish sign, but we will see. At the moment the trend is intact, so we follow that trend, and I'm already long, like I told you in my last weekend update already. And yeah, let's drop down to the daily time frame. Here you can see that the daily downtrend line was broken to the downside. We had a nice corrective move, then a new push above this downtrend, making slightly new all-time high. It could still be a double top if we see no further all-time highs from here and a breakdown below this weekly uptrend line. That would mean a continuation or breaking lower and seeing lower prices, and then the MACD divergence on the weekly would have played out. But so far I'm stay bullish, I stay long with my first position, and if we see a new all-time high, I would add another position to this already existing long trade and doubling down on it. Yeah, and at the moment, if we drop down to the 4-hour time frame, you can see that we had this flag pattern here, and we have been also able to draw the downtrend line above this structure that was already broken, but since then price is a little bit struggling, breaking higher, and until that's the case, it's not confirmed that we will not see a double top scenario and a break lower, but the more likely scenario is that we will see a small pullback and then a push again to new all-time highs, triggering my next long trade. And yeah, make the research by yourself, like always. But that's how I apply S&P 500 at the moment. Yeah, that's it for S&P 500. Let's switch to US oil. Yeah, US oil here on the weekly time frame, you can see the monthly red solid downward line was broken to the upside. Since then we are moving inside this weekly correction. The weekly orange downward line got broken to the upside. We haven't seen a lower low because of that. This trend line is valid, and yeah, there was a breakout to the lower side out of this triangle. That was a bearish sign, but then we broke back above it, breaking this dotted orange downward line to the upside, but got immediately rejected lower, finding here again support in this area. And yeah, a little bit undecisive, to be honest. At the moment, no trades open. If we drop down to the daily time frame, you can see that we are holding at the moment around this daily support and resistance area. MACD seems like it wants to cross to the upside, could be a bullish sign. We have seen price dipping slightly below this daily support zone, which is bearish because now it turns resistance, and that would mean that we bounce lower. If we drop down to the 4-hour time frame, you can see that this 4-hour downtrend line is broken, but it's only, yeah, it's messy broken because we already have seen a lower low. This point and this point is slightly lower than this one, so the right way to draw this trend line would be this here. And yeah, then we are not yet above this downtrend, and so you should wait for breakout. A retest could look something like this, and then break this retest, or trade this, the break of the retest to the upside. You can trade this one as a long trade, or you can stay outside of US oil until it gets clearer. Or if you have an overall bearish view, it's not my view, to be honest, you could use this as a existing support zone and trade a break below that to the short side. Around this area with a nice area to make a short setup. Yeah, but at the moment I stay out of crude oil. I update you my next weekend update if anything changed about that. Yeah, that's it for crude. Let's switch to gold. Gold at the weekly looking beautiful. We had a hard time breaking above this often tested resistance zone, but then we finally have been able to break it to the upside, and since then we know only one way, and that's up. We have seen a couple of impulses, corrections, impulse, correction, and then after this correction was ending, we have seen the next impulse. That was also the leg I wanted to take with my long trade here. Maybe I got a little bit late in because that correction was on the lower time frames not that clear to me, but at least I got a position in. It's at the moment running and nearly 2% of my account balance in profit. But you could argue that we are about to see a price divergence, what would be bearish. Let's drop down for that to the daily time frame. You can see we have an intact daily uptrend line. We had here this consolidation or corrective structure. I was expecting an A, B, C pattern, like C never came, and instead we broke above this support and resistance zone here, and that was the trigger for me to get into a long trade with stop loss below this support zone and the daily uptrend line, and so far it worked out pretty well. At the moment, at the daily 10-day moving average, price is oriented on and wasn't able to break it so far to the downside and continues higher. I think here we get now a little bit of a struggle. Daily MACD is also about to cross to the downside. We will see. My target ain't far away anymore, slightly below the $3,000 mark. And yeah, I'm not able, or I don't want to move my stop loss already to my entry level, so take the trade risk free, because I could imagine that we don't hit directly my target and see a future pullback, maybe to the last all-time high or even a little bit lower, and then recovering again and starting to the upside. If you're also in a trade, you could think about taking half of chips from the table, but for me, myself, I want to stay in this trade with the full risk at the moment, because I have no real structure in between to protect my stop loss if I move it to my entry level. If we go down to the 4-hour time frame, you can see that at the 4-hour time frame we already have a MACD divergence. We had here a lower high, and here we had a higher high and higher high. Here maybe we even also had a lower high. Yeah, that's possible, but you could draw it like this, then you still have divergence. Sorry for that. And yeah, so it's possible that we'll see a pullback. Maybe we never dip below this 4-hour blue dotted uptrend line, and that's holding, and then we went going directly into my take profit target, or we break below it, maybe get rejected again at the 200 moving average. Would be great. But yeah, for now I let this trade run like it is, and you can decide it for yourself. Yeah, that's it for gold. Let's go last but not least to Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, we had a long-lasting sideways period. Then we had the explosion to the upside with the US election aligning, and now we are in a massive corrective phase, also taking nearly half the time of this correction already. And MACD is crossing to the downside, similar like it did here back in the past. I'm not believing yet that that's over for the Bitcoin bull run. I think this is the part where the weekend's getting checked out. I hope or think that the low is already in of the movement. Yeah, maybe we'll see a rush lower to shake out some weekends and then continue the uptrend. That's at least my view and my prediction. If we drop down to the daily time frame, we can see that the daily uptrend line is still intact, and we have a nice sideways movement here in a zone where price is moving inside. At the moment we are nearing the lower end, so maybe good trading opportunity if we test this daily uptrend line in combination with this daily support zone here and get here a nice entry. A little bit risky because we don't wait for a breakout, and set the stop loss maybe below this 0.382 financial retracement level, and hope that we don't see a lower low. Don't risk too much on this trade because we are not waiting for a valid breakout. If you want to wait for a valid breakout, you would have to wait for break above this downtrend line here. Yeah, that's it for the daily. Let's drop down to the, yeah, I don't have to say, if we break below this daily uptrend line in combination with this support zone, see a retest and a break of the retest to the downside, then we will see probably a massive move back lower and will end probably on the top of this sideways movement consolidation zone here. It would probably mean the end of this bull cycle for Bitcoin, but I think that's the most unlikely scenario. if we drop down to the 4 time frame, you can see the last couple of days, nothing really happened in Bitcoin. And yeah, you could argue that here's forming some sort of range. And yeah, until it moves inside this range, I think everything is cool and you don't have to do anything. Like I said, if we drop down lower, you can think about of a risky position, entering long without confirmation, or if you see a break above this zone, and probably I would also then wait for a break of this downtrend, a retest, and a break of the retest to the upside, and that would be a good long opportunity. Yeah, that's it also for Bitcoin. Like I said, if we see breaks below that, I would get a little bit more bearish. Yeah, that's it for the weekend update, guys and girls, on Tuesday. Sorry for that. I hope next weekend you got your video like promised on latest day Sunday. And till then, bye bye.